What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stimulus update. We have some more big news that's coming out today. First, President Biden gave his first press conference that happened earlier on today. This is the first of his presidency, which some were saying that we weren't going to see this for a little while. Good thing that we finally did. In his press conference, he stated the big goal that he wants right now is to hit 200 million doses of the vaccine within his first 100 days in office. We also know the Social Security Administration has sent over the payment information for the IRS to send out roughly 30 million payments to Social Security recipients of their $1,400. This is something that lawmakers stated yesterday that they gave the SSA 1 day until today to get the information over to the IRS, or else who knew what would have happened, but lawmakers gave them 1 day and they did exactly that. Now, this has many people wondering why they were waiting for so long to send out this money. Well, the good news is now Social Security beneficiaries should have their payment by next week, by March 31st, which is next Wednesday. That is the good news. So if you haven't received your $1,400 stimulus checks, then just understand it may be coming next Wednesday. What we are hearing is that most likely tomorrow or Saturday, within the next 2 days. If you haven't received your payment yet, you should be able to check the IRS Get My Payment portal, and it should tell you when your check will be pending. And it should say pending for March 31st, which is next Wednesday. In addition to that, we are getting reports that President Biden's Build Back Better plan is still being worked on, and right now he is supposed to unveil his Build Back Better plan, or his infrastructure bill, next Wednesday in Pittsburgh. That is according to White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. She also said, "I can't preview for you. I know you're not really exactly asking this, what will be in the package that he's still discussing, but obviously roads, rails, and bridges are part of what everybody historically thinks about." She went on to say there's going to be other things, in addition to the infrastructure. So some things like broadband internet, that's going to be a big one, 5G. But what we do know is President Biden is still meeting with Democratic leaders. He's doing that today and tomorrow. He will continue to meet with them over the next week as well, and trying to get the specifics about this next bill. Here's what we know, and this is kind of where things are starting to really pick up. We know Bernie Sanders really wants to get that $15 minimum wage provision included into this next bill. That is something that some are saying there's no point to even introduce it because it still has to pass the Senate parliamentarian, which we know it will not. According to many reports, some are saying that lawmakers and Bernie Sanders and his staff as well are working on this bill, trying to change the verbiage of the bill to make it suitable for the Senate parliamentarian's liking. Whether she approves it or not, currently, we don't know. We also know that progressives want to see monthly stimulus checks of $2,000. However, some are saying that progressives will most likely reduce that figure and compromise with Democrats if they have to. So what I can tell you is that we will most likely see provisions for a monthly stimulus check in this next package, or at least they will be proposed and hopefully added to it. Some say student loan forgiveness will be in here as well. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, he has been advocating for this, as well as Senator Elizabeth Warren. So we will see if that gets included. Chances are it will. Medicare for All is kind of the one that everybody is currently discussing at this point. There's a few main ones. The $15 minimum wage has kind of been put on the back burner because, not that it's not necessary, but it's because it's going to take so long to implement. It's going to take 4 years. And some are saying that, no, that's not quick enough. We need to provide for the American people, and we need to do it now. How do we do that? Well, a monthly stimulus check would do that. Student loan forgiveness does not do that. It does not accomplish what Democrats want. They want immediate results. Student loan forgiveness, yes, over the course of 10, 20 years, it would definitely make a difference. However, most are not looking 10 to 20 years out because the current administration would not be there. Whether President Biden gets reelected or not, in 10 years, he will not be here. So just keep that in mind. We also know Medicare for All is the other one. Student loan forgiveness, no. $15 minimum wage, no. It's a stimulus check and Medicare for All. Those are two that are big that would provide immediate impact to the American people, and would provide the relief that Democrats are looking for. Again, what you need to remember, the overall goal of this Build Back Better plan is obviously to build a better economy, provide for the American people. But the bigger plan, the bigger issue, which the more immediate need is, what Democrats are saying is, we need to get the American people on our side so that they vote for us in the 2022 midterm election. So what do you think is going to kind of entail there? Well, what we know is if we provide another stimulus check, yes, the American people will vote for them. If we provide Medicare for all, yes, the American people will vote for Democrats. And Republicans are like, no, we can't do this. And then the other thing that's starting to kind of tie into all this is gun reform. And how do we do this? Do we require more in-depth background checks? Is President Biden going to actually do an executive order to ban all sales of assault weapons? Right? We don't know this stuff, and this is stuff that's starting to come out, and this is going to change, especially for investors. If you invest in the stock market, if you are not watching what is going on, if you're not watching the press conference from today on immigration and infrastructure, and there was very little on COVID relief. There was very little on COVID outside of the President Biden stating that he wants to see 200 million shots in his first 100 days. There was very little. Which means most people are looking past this pandemic and into what is going to happen next. So, as an investor, you need to be aware of that stuff. What a lot of people are waiting for right now is just to hear what is in this next bill and what will go out to the American people. Some are saying that there will not be enough stimulus in this next bill, and those are usually the more centrist Democrats. But others are saying that no, this is going to have more stimulus for the American people than the previous $1.9 trillion stimulus package. So we will see. But we know creating more jobs is going to be necessary, but experts are currently saying that this could take far too long and it won't impact the economy as fast as many want. It is because of this. Again, stimulus checks, Medicare for all are two of the big things that are currently being discussed. Now, in regards to really what is going on, here's what we know. Right now, the Biden administration is saying that we will pay for this through tax increases, through tax hikes, taxing high-income earners, and that would be a couple or a family that makes over $400,000 per year. They're going to tax any wealthy person. If you make over $50 billion, you're going to be taxed. Now, there's just a handful of people out, more than a handful of people that have over $50 billion that currently live in the United States, but every single one of them would be taxed. Now, what I can tell you is that Janet Yellen stated that the IRS could raise tax revenue without actually raising taxes. You're probably thinking, well, how in the world does that happen? Well, here's what we know. The funding right now to hire additional staff and to keep them on the payroll is not there. The IRS needs more funding from the federal government. So what she is saying is if the IRS had additional funding to hire more staff, then they could go after those that are not stating all of their income and actually lying about it. Some reports are indicating that high-income earners are not claiming roughly 21% of their yearly income. So let's say you make $1 million and you don't claim 21%. That means you don't claim $210,000 of income every single year. If you only made $100,000, that's only $21,000. So it's not as much, but it's still a decent amount. Let's put this into perspective for a lot of people. Let's say you make $50,000. Well, $50,000 means you are not paying, or you're not claiming about, was it $11,000? $10,500 of income. So you make $50,000 and you only tell the IRS, I only made $39,500. They're like, okay, well, you think about that. You think the IRS is going to want you to claim the other $10,000? Yes, they are going to want you to do that. But here's what Janet Yellen said. Here's what she said, I'm going to quote this from her. She said, the tax gap is huge, and I think we would have a fairer tax system and collect more tax revenue without the need to raise rates if we resource the IRS properly to be able to address this issue. Even one lawmaker said, and I quote, that more than $570 billion that was owed last year has not been paid yet. That's a lot of money. $570 billion is a lot of money. The IRS said that if more money was raised like that, $570 billion per year, they could raise about $7.5 trillion over the next 10 years. And that would more than pay for this stimulus bill, for this Build Back Better plan, and many other things. Now, this could be an option for Democrats to try to get some bipartisan support because we know Republicans do not want to see higher taxes. However, some experts say that there will be much more in this next bill that Republicans are going to reject, that they don't see a bipartisan deal happening unless they come to some type of agreement where they pass a standalone bill. But most are saying that no, this is not going to happen. President Biden is going to break up his Build Back Better plan into two different parts. It's going to be roughly $3 trillion, and this should come out next Wednesday. We also know that President Biden is open to some type of filibuster reform. He said that he is open to this. We know Senator Joe Manchin is open to this as well. And many people do support this as far as from the Democratic side. Republicans obviously are fighting this tooth and nail because they know what will happen if we do get rid of the filibuster. If we don't see that in the Senate, there will be issues, and Republicans are going to have a very tough time getting really anything done that they want. Democrats could almost pass through everything that they want and need. But this could also mean more fighting amongst Democrats. So, even though right now President Biden is opening up a little bit to changing the way the Senate works, changing how the American people are cared for, what we do know is that he is open to entertaining really any ideas to make any bill better. Whether it comes from Democrats or Republicans, he's opening up his mind and his philosophy to really any idea. So that's kind of what we know at this point. What I can tell you is next week will be a very interesting week. We should have a lot of new information there. And as always, I promise I will fill you in on all the new updates as we get them. So just want to say thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.